Good morning, this is Karen Rainford, here to talk about Chapter 6 of Project Jumpstart. What should I study? Chapter 6 is all about project team. It's about what we buy that we need for our project and the kind of contracts that we use to acquire those materials. First of all, let's talk about getting a project team. Selecting project teams is not quite as easy as standing everybody up and saying, I'll take you, and letting the other team captain pick the other people. There are many organizational policies that are in place, and we need to follow all of those. Specific organizations have ideas about recruiting and hiring. And finally, it's really important to consider what the characteristics are of the team members that you need. Let's look at some of those characteristics. The best way to figure out what is available is to do a skills assessment. This is not the kind of thing that we're used to doing in a formal way and writing it down on paper, but just like most project management, moving from an informal way to a formal way usually helps us to do it more effectively. A skills inventory will determine what is needed. We also need to take into account personalities. Often we don't have a choice, but there are teams who get together better than other teams based on the personalities involved. Availability is a major issue. If you have a low priority project, you will find that you have much more trouble getting people and having them available than if you have the highest priority project going on at that moment. Experience on previous projects can be wonderful, or someone who doesn't have as much experience but has a strong desire to learn may be a good choice. And finally, the ability to work together in a team, often called team spirit. Don't forget to look within yourself when you're talking about characteristics. Respecting other people, respecting their abilities, their characteristics, and their contributions to your project is one of the most important things that you can do as a project manager. In terms of staffing, first it's deciding who we're going to need, matching skills up with tasks, and hopefully the functional managers were involved in the estimating phase, or some of the people who worked for those functional managers in a matrix organization were engaged in the estimating, because that makes the estimates more reliable, more accurate, and certainly makes it more likely that you're going to get the people that you need for the time that you need them. Not everybody starts with the beginning of the project or the end and stays on until the end of the project. People roll on and roll off during the project. It's a good idea to document these assignments. Who has been assigned? Get an email from a functional manager saying, yes, you have so-and-so assigned on these dates. Do people need training? Often, if you are doing a project in a way that hasn't been done before, for example, using an agile methodology, or simply for people to work together as a team, it's helpful to have some kind of training. Definitely, you need an onboarding process. When anyone joins a team, it disrupts the pattern of all of the other team members who are existing, and there's a certain time for getting everybody engaged. Shopping! This is all about acquiring materials, equipment, and supplies, and the place to start to figure out what you need is not by wandering through the store. It is by making a list. And the place where the list comes from is the work breakdown structure. The work breakdown structure tells you the entire scope everything that's included in the project, and anything that is not in the scope is not included in the project. So first we're looking at existing versus new equipment. In order to do the tasks and produce the deliverables from the work breakdown structure, can you use existing equipment or is something needed? Often there are new technologies or new locations involved. Finally, there's a decision about whether you should make or buy what you need. And this is a trade-off that can best be made by experts who understand what is happening. We need plans. We need plans for procurement. How are we going to go about doing the shopping for what we need? And we need plan for resources. Finally, for each contract, there's a contract life cycle. Steps that all contracts go through from beginning until the contract is closed out. RFPs, requests for proposals, are methods of getting a fair price by having several vendors compete against each other and give you full and complete information about what it is that they are going to provide. And then by soliciting bids from several vendors, it gives you a better opportunity to see the differences between them and to determine what one vendor might be missing. Choosing suppliers based on information from RFPs is much easier than simply choosing suppliers based on who comes calling at your door. And awarding the contract usually takes someone from the procurement department or from the finance department to work through this with you. That's the end of Chapter 6. Make sure that you look through at the terminology review and consider all of the review questions. Good luck!